Ladies and gentlemen, MindOfReese back, and the NBA is back, and the very first week of the NBA season is now in the books. And man, I've said going into this season that this is going to be one of the most competitive, fun, best seasons in probably 10 or so years, and it's living up to the hype so far. I got a lot of things I want to touch on. I don't want to waste too much of your time, but if you are new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check your boy out. I am going to be putting out a lot of NBA content this season. Also, when you subscribe, make sure you check out the 30 Days of Hoops playlist that I did leading up into the NBA season. You feel me? And don't forget to leave a like on the video. Show your boys some love. I'm trying to make it out here. You feel me? You don't want me to eat? You taking food off my table? But let's get into the season. So, starting off, man, the NBA rookie class of 2021 is looking so impressive so far. We have not seen the number one pick, Cade Cunningham, yet, but the number two pick, Mr. Chip on my shoulder, Jalen Green, starting off a little slow, but he did impress in his very last game. I expect the ups and downs with a player like Jalen Green, the kind of scorer he is, kind of a bit of a young volume scorer. He's going to have some rough games. He's going to hit some rough patches. The best scorers go through that, especially at a young age. And I think it's important that he hits walls like this early in his NBA career, so he has experience getting over them. He may hit the rookie wall that a lot of rookies hit, especially with his play style around the midway point, but we'll see. The Houston Rockets aren't really a good team. They're not expected to be. They're still rebuilding, so I'm pretty sure he's going to have a lot of freedom. What the hell? Freedom and a long leash to really go out there, play his game, learn his game, see what works, see what doesn't, and develop his game early. But I'm pretty sure he's going to do a whole lot of impressing later on down the line. Number 3 pick, Jalen Suggs, the other Jalen, isn't popping on the stat sheet, but is playing very well and producing. In my opinion, he had a game, I can't remember who against, where he stuffed the stat sheet. Almost had damn near triple double. Obviously, another team, the Orlando Magic, not going to be very good. Not expected to be. They're rebuilding, just like the Houston Rockets. So I think this will be good for Jalen Suggs to develop his game. I love when guys with such high ceilings and such talent and potential have an opportunity to go to these teams that aren't expected to do much, or you're not expected much of that player or that team, and they have a long leash, kind of like what Trae Young did with the Atlanta Hawks. Lloyd Pierce allowed Trae Young his rookie season to really discover his game and adapt to the NBA game. In the guard position is one of the toughest positions to adapt to coming out of college into the NBA. Going back to Jalen Green, especially for a guy like him of his size, he's really small, but his ability to score is top notch and has an extremely high ceiling. I'm high on Jalen Green. He was my pick for NBA Rookie of the Year. I'm not backing off that pick yet. I still think he can get it done. But also, I was wrong. Jalen Suggs was not the number 3 pick. He was the number 5 pick. I jumped ahead a little bit. But speaking of the number 3 pick, the guy who's looking like he might actually be the Rookie of the Year is Evan Mobley. First of all, the Cleveland Cavaliers, are running out of starting lineup with Lauri Markkanen, Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley. And when I see that, I'm like, why are they running out this fucking monster lineup? There's no way this is going to work. And it's working. Like, I'm not saying the Cleveland Cavaliers are a good team. They're not. But they're not losing because of that lineup. They're losing because they're not a good team, which was expected. I'm not saying they were expected to be a playoff team, but the reason the lineup works so well is mainly because of a guy like Evan Mobley, who can play out on a perimeter, who can stretch the floor, even on defense, can switch on the guards and hold his own on the perimeter. And the potential that he's showing this early, with a lineup like this is very impressive. He might be the lead for Rookie of the Year so far, but again, it's only the first week. They're only about 3-4 games in, so I don't want to jump the gun, but I think, honestly, if a lot of these rookies and more that I'm about to get to continue to play the way they do, this is going to be the best Rookie of the Year race we have by the time the end of the year comes. If they can keep it up, which is hard to do in a rookie year. In your rookie year, it's hard to keep play like this up. It's hard for NBA players to keep play like this up. But I have a lot of faith in a lot of these rookies. Another one is Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey in Oklahoma City. Again, Oklahoma City looks like trash. Oklahoma City was going to be one of my NBA League Passes team to watch this year, but a few games in, I think I'm going to drop them from my League Pass team to actually check out. They don't look very good, but I do like the potential of a duo of Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I was curious how they were going to fit. I didn't think I'm not saying I didn't think they would, but I was curious to see how it would do. It's not producing much winning or success, but the team is extremely young and trash. They don't have a whole lot of talent. They have a lot of young talent that's still developing. But I think in the future, I think that process, that development may be accelerated with a duo like Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Josh Giddey was a lot of people's dark horses to win Rookie of the Year. One of my sleepers, even though I stuck with Jalen Green as my main pick. But yes, another candidate for Rookie of the Year is Josh Giddey, and probably someone who wasn't anyone's sleeper candidate and actually is an actual candidate if he keeps this up. It's Indiana Pacers' Chris Duarte. Shout out to my boy Pierre from Through the Wire, Pee Wee the Plug. He's a huge college guy. I find out about guys through him. He talked a lot about Chris Duarte leading up to the draft. He was drafted by the Indiana Pacers, and leading up to the season, I even mentioned it in my Indiana Pacers 30 Days of Hoops preview video that Rick Carlisle is the coach of the Indiana Pacers now. Rick Carlisle coached my Dallas Mavericks for 14 years, 14 seasons, 14 years, whatever you want to call it. And I know Rick Carlisle isn't keen on just giving opportunities to any old rookies. If I'm not mistaken, there hasn't been a rookie on a Rick Carlisle team, mainly from the Mavericks, that I remember. I don't remember much from his Indiana Pacers and Detroit Pistons days, but off the top of my head, from the Mavericks, the only rookie that's ever started on this team was Luka Doncic. Now, granted, the Mavericks weren't great at drafting in the first place, but even Jalen Brunson getting so many minutes and opportunities his rookie year surprised me. But I realized it's because, Rick Carlisle has to have a certain type of faith in you. And I think he isn't willing to trust young rookies so much. Jalen Brunson spent 3 years in college. He was kind of not a young vet, but as far as college goes, he was a vet. He honed his game a bit. He knew who he was. Chris Duarte was the oldest player coming out of this draft. I said in the preview, he's going to get some minutes from Rick Carlisle because Rick Carlisle likes his older guys. Pause. That sounded bad. Rick Carlisle likes his older rookies, but expecting him to start out the gate, I was shocked. And expecting him to come out the gate as hot as he was, I was even more shocked. I'm high on the Indiana Pacers this year. I feel like they can compete. And I feel like the fact that they're getting this kind of production from a guy like Chris Duarte is amazing. It's definitely going to help this team. They've got a lot of talent. I feel like they can compete in the West probably for a play-in spot, not necessarily a flat-out playoff position. But I do think they'll be in the play-in. And if Chris Duarte can step up the way he is right now, I think they're going to be a lock for the play-in. Another rookie that's been playing incredibly well is Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell, when he was drafted, I was pretty skeptical of the pick by the Sacramento Kings, mainly because, first of all, Sacramento Kings, they're pretty terrible at stuff like this. And second of all, I felt why I drafted another small guard when you have a De'Aaron Fox, you have Tyrese Halliburton, you have Buddy Hield. I was just confused at the pick. I wasn't sure what the reasoning was behind it, but man, Davion Mitchell is showing why he was the right pick for the Sacramento Kings. He's already gone up against all NBA guards in his first 3 games. He's gone up against Damian Lillard. He's gone up against his idol, who's only a few years older than him, Donovan Mitchell. He's gone up against Steph Curry. In his next game, he's going to have to go up against Chris Paul and Devin Booker. 2 games after that, he's going to have to go up against Luka Doncic. Like, bro, this dude, he's got a hell of a task ahead of him. I'm pretty sure he's going to be guarding the best guards on the team, considering his defensive acumen. He does not have the nickname Off Night for no reason. So I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited for his season. Do I think he'll be a Rookie of the Year candidate? Who knows? I think he's going to have to do well in order for him to be in that conversation. He'd have to do a lot more scoring, but that's not his role, and that's not what they need him to do. So I don't think he'll be in that conversation for Rookie of the Year, but he will be known by the end of this season, most likely as one of the best rookies to come out of this class. Scotty Barnes is doing amazing in Toronto. This Toronto team, they've got some chemistry. They've got potential, especially with OG Anunoby and Scotty Barnes together. I just don't expect them to win a lot this year. I don't expect them to even get a play-in spot. If you listen to my 30 Days of Hoops on the Raptors, you saw that. But I like what I'm saying from this team. I was wrong in my 30 Days of Hoops preview when I said I don't think they really have a vision or anything to build on. They clearly do. This team, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent, these guys are playing really well and holding their own. Even almost pulled out a victory against my Dallas Mavericks just Friday, but not Friday, I'm sorry, Saturday. But yeah, and Pascal Siakam hasn't even played yet. I think when Pascal comes in, that's when things are going to kind of get tricky with the Scotty Barnes thing, because where do you fit Scotty Barnes into that lineup when you have OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, and Pascal Siakam? I'm curious if I don't think they're going to do this. It's no way they start Pascal Siakam at center, right? That's a conversation for another day. But yeah, man, this rookie class is amazing. We haven't even got to see Cade Cunningham yet. We haven't gotten to see much of Moses Moody in Golden State, and Jonathan Kuminga is currently injured, so we haven't seen him either. A player I'm surprised we haven't seen yet is James Bouknight in Charlotte. We haven't seen any of James Bouknight except for in like garbage time minutes. I was shocked to see that, but I think with Ish Smith being such a productive player in that unit, we probably aren't going to see much of James Bouknight all this season, because Terry Rozier hasn't even played yet, and James Bouknight isn't getting minutes. So when Terry Rozier is back, he's going to be inserted into that starting lineup. Kelly Oubre will probably be moved as the guard off the bench, and it's really going to be harder for James Bouknight to get minutes. So this rookie class is already really good, and those are 4 rookies we haven't even really seen do anything yet, get any real minutes yet. So I'm excited about this, man. I'm hoping to see more of these rookies get more minutes, but especially with Golden State, with Kuminga and Moody, it's going to be tough. Young players on the contending team like that. James Bouknight, there's really no room for his minutes, but we will see Cade Cunningham. I cannot wait to see what he does with that young Detroit team, that young core they have over there. But enough about the rookie class. Let's move on. So let's talk about the teams that aren't necessarily disappointing me, but are struggling. And I'm talking about the Lakers and the Nets. The Lakers, oh man, I guess you could say we saw these struggles coming. When you have a team of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook, a lot of people were concerned about the spacing on the team. They signed some good talent, but not a lot of shooters. And when we saw that starting lineup that they put out the first day against Golden State, Russell Westbrook, Kent Bazemore, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and DeAndre Jordan, everyone knew this was going to get ugly. It was going to get ugly pretty fast. And I must say, everyone was right. Like, bro, it's one thing to run 3 out, 2 in, but the Lakers are running 3 in, 2 out. Literally. Like, the center on the team, whether it's DeAndre Jordan or Dwight Howard, Russell Westbrook, and AD are all in the paint at once sometimes. And it's like, it's making me claustrophobic just watching it. And you have guys like Kent Bazemore, who, Jesus Christ, Golden State Warriors fans tried to tell people about Kent Bazemore the same way I tried to tell Lakers fans about Wesley Matthews as a Mavericks fan. It's it ain't what you want. especially starting Kim Bazemore. I think it would have made more sense to start a Wayne Ellington. But even then, he would have been on the perimeter, and you still would have had a Westbrook, AD, and DeAndre Jordan / Dwight Howard in the paint together. Speaking of AD and Dwight Howard, they were going at it on the bench, like physically putting hands on each other 2 games into the season. And that's not something you want to see. I mean, maybe it is something you want to see, so you get those kinks out of the way early, but frustration that early into the season can be a bad thing. They got to figure something out with this team. And I think that everyone keeps saying it, and I'm going to hammer this point home. I feel like the spacing would be much better if Anthony Davis would just play the goddamn center position like he should. Start at center, not, oh, I'm going to log some center minutes here and there. No. Most of your minutes throughout the 48-minute game has to be at the center position. And that's not going to happen now, considering they went out of their way to sign guys like DeAndre Jordan and Dwight Howard. Me personally, I wouldn't even play DeAndre Jordan at this point. Just start AD at center, have Dwight off the bench. If you want to bring Melo in to start at power forward, great. Maybe you can start LeBron at power forward and have Kent Bazemore still in the starting lineup and start Wayne Ellington as well with Russell Westbrook. That fixes the spacing problems just a little bit at least. And with AD playing center, AD can play on the perimeter on offense. AD can knock down threes. AD can hit mid-ranges. AD can attack bigs off the dribble. That opens it up for Russell Westbrook to do Russell Westbrook things. Yes, I understand sometimes Russell Westbrook doesn't make the right decisions. He's a good playmaking point guard. He's just not a floor general making the right decisions. And I understand that. Sometimes he goes too fast. He turns the ball over, barrels into the paint. He's not a very good shooter. But Russell Westbrook, when put into the right environment, can still be lethal. And I still feel like that can be the case. Russell Westbrook was the best player on that Washington Wizards team last year. No doubt about it. If Anthony Davis just plays center, I'm tired of hearing about Anthony Davis. Yeah, I'm going to play some more center this year. And he never does it. That's why when it was on Twitter and he was like, yeah, I'm going to play more center this year, I'll believe it when I see it. And what I want to see is him starting at center, not him playing some center minutes here and there. Your primary position needs to be center, period. That's the way this team is going to win, honestly. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this happens and it doesn't work, and I'll admit that. I'm not a coach. It's just an idea, because what's going on right now is not working. I'm not saying the Lakers are going to be a bad team. I'm not saying the Lakers are going to miss the playoffs. I'm just saying the spacing, this 3-in, 2-out that you're running, this 1950s offense, it's not going to work. You got to figure something out fast before this gets out of hand. Because I'm going to tell you right now, these teams in the West and even some in the East are not letting up off the gas. And the Lakers are going to find themselves behind, and it's going to be hard to crawl back, especially with a team where you don't want to risk injury to guys like LeBron and AD and push them too hard. Because if those guys get hurt and they miss significant time, then you're really going to suffer. Or maybe that opens up, opens up some things for the offense. Who knows? But I don't think you can take that chance. You got to get ahead of this while you can. The other team that's struggling a little bit is the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets were my favorite out of the East. Not one of my favorites out of the East. The Bucks are still looking like the best right now on my MindOfReese podcast. Link will be in the description. We did NBA standings, and I had the Bucks at number 1, Nets at number 2, even without Kyrie. But it looks like they might really not need Kyrie, but they could use Kyrie right about now. A lot of that has to do with the fact that James Harden, I don't know what's going on with James Harden. A lot of people jumping the gun, calling James Harden washed. I think that's very premature. I think a lot of, even some of the things I'm saying, I think a lot of this is premature, like 3-4 games into a season. I don't want to make it seem like these are who these teams are, because it's not, or who these players are, because it's not. Like Harrison Barnes is averaging 30 points right now. Anyone with 2 eyes and a brain knows that's not Harrison Barnes. So I don't want to say James Harden is washed. I just think James Harden is really struggling right now. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that 2 seasons in a row, he's going into the season not in shape like he should be. I guess he's been hanging out with Lil Baby too much. been at Magic City. I don't know what he's been doing, but a lot of people been saying he's Rick Ross at shooting guard. Rick Ross with a step back. You know how NBA Twitter is with the jokes, but if this team is gonna go on a run uh, and get into a position where they're not at risk of falling behind, they're gonna need James Harden to be James Harden. KD is doing his thing. The defense on this team is still struggling a lot. The defense on this team is still struggling. I thought it would be a little bit better, not much better, but I thought Paul Millsap would be a decent addition to this team. But with him and LaMarcus Aldridge, you got two statues, two cones out there, man. Like it's bad. I know they tried to fill this roster out as best they can with some IQ and role players, but it's just I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't see how they beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the playoff series. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, last year they would have done it if, they had Kyrie and Harden healthy, or they would have done it if KD's foot was a few inches shorter, not bringing up the fact that KD had that same shot in overtime and missed. But I digress. This Bucks team is getting better, and they're not the same team. You can't just assume that just because they brought back the same people, that means they're the same team as last year. It doesn't work like that. I feel like the Bucks are still the best team in the league. I genuinely believe that. I believe they're the best team in the East. Next team is struggling, and they're gonna have to figure something out. Maybe they trade Kyrie and get some pieces. I don't know. Only time can tell. Like I said, it's only the first week of the season. But I mentioned that the Bucks are the best team in the league, in my opinion, the best team in the East. And to me right now, the best team in the West are the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors look like they have figured it out. They are clicking. I told people, I said, man, pickups like Otto Porter Jr. and Bielitsa for the Golden State Warriors this offseason, is going to be very underrated, especially getting Otto Porter on a cheap deal. They brought back Andre Iguodala. Draymond Green is playing well. Jordan Poole is building on the breakout season he had last year. You still got role players who fit into this offense well, like Kevon Looney, Juan Toscano Anderson. I'm pretty sure Damian Lee. This team is clicking, and you still have to remember James Wiseman isn't back yet. Moses Moody isn't getting much minutes. Where's Jonathan Kuminga? Where is he going to fit into this team when he comes back? Is he going to log some minutes? This team, man, look, Bielisa looking like David Lee out there. You hear what I'm saying? Andrew Wiggins is playing well for them. A lot of people want Andrew Wiggins to be he got to score 25 for us. That's not his role. And the biggest hole of all, Klay Thompson isn't back yet. And his team is 3-0. And they're not just 3-0. They look really, really good. They look good out there. Steph Curry is looking like he's ready for another MVP. And at the rate he's going, he might get it. At the rate the Golden State Warriors are going, he might get it. A lot of people were like, oh, well, I don't think the Golden State Warriors are really going to be a contender in the West. I think people are overrating them. I don't think just because Klay is coming back, they're going to be that good. They're that good right now, and Klay isn't back yet. Like I said, it's still premature. Take all of this with a grain of salt. I'm just observing what I see so far, but I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are a must-watch every time they play, every single time. They are the lone undefeated team in the West, and the lone undefeated team in the East is the Chicago Bulls, a team that was probably the most polarizing coming into this season. Some people had them top 3, top 5. Some people had them in the 7th, 8th spot. Some people had them not making the playoffs at all. Me personally, I had the Chicago Bulls as the 4th seed going into the playoffs at the end of the season, and they are looking good right now. They are 4-0. The team, the chemistry is there. A lot of people had questions about their defense. They seem to be playing very well on defense. Alex Caruso is great off the bench for them. Lonzo Ball, last year wasn't just contract year Lonzo Ball. He's carrying that over into this season. Now, granted, they ain't played nobody. I'm going to just be honest. The 4 games they played, they ain't played nobody. But I'm not going to use that as a knock. I'm actually going to say, even though the teams that they played weren't to the talent level that they are at, it's important for a team that's supposed to be a playoff team to knock out wins like this even early on in the season, because a lot of teams end up slipping and giving those games away, and you find yourself in the lower seeding than you should be because you lost to teams you should beat. And it's important that the Chicago Bulls and this team have the mindset so we're not taking it lightly with any team. We're not taking it lightly with any team. We're going into these games. We're playing everybody like they're contenders, and we're going to win. That's exactly what they're doing. I'm impressed by it. I'm hoping they build on it. But these next few games they got coming up are tough. These are all playoff contending, playoff, caliber teams that they're going to be going up against. And I'm excited to see how they do. My Dallas Mavericks are one of those teams. So that's definitely going to be an exciting matchup. Last team I really wanted to touch on
right now they are
was
2-1, 3-1.
I mentioned that Terry Rozier isn't even playing yet, and this team looks fantastic. I love the young core on this team. Miles Bridges is showing out. LaMelo Ball is showing out. LaMelo Ball is looking like he's ready to be an all-star this year. And if the Charlotte Hornets can finish in a playoff position or a play-in position, they'll do it. I genuinely believe they'll do it. I have them as a play-in team this year. I have them as the 9th seed. I think they'll do it. I can't wait till Terry Rozier comes back to see what he'll do. Like I said, I would love for James Bouknight to get some minutes, but I don't think it's going to happen. Ish Smith is emerging for this team. I think they're also, along with the Golden State Warriors, a must-watch team every night. I'm excited what they got going over there, even if it doesn't basically turn into success this season. I love what they have going forward. PJ Washington, I believe he sat out the last game. I can't remember if he played the first. He played the first game. I believe he missed the next two or just the last one. But like I said, man, this team got some talent. LaMelo looks like he's coming. And another guy that looks like he's coming is Ja Morant. I was not high on the Grizzlies coming into this season. Shout out to King of the Fourth Quarter, Kenny Beecham. He said on the Through the Wire podcast, the basketball podcast, that he felt, I believe he said his most improved player or MVP was going to be Ja Morant. I can't remember which one, but I think it was most improved. Ja Morant is looking like, I'm not going to say MVP because the Grizzlies will have to be a high seed and understand, he's balling right now, but I don't see that happening. I don't even see them as a playoff team. But I mean, in order for him to get most improved player, I figured they have to do the same. But he's looking like he's coming for that top 5 point guard spot that he was talking about this offseason. I remember I was in the hoop spaces early in the morning sometime this offseason where people were clowning him like, oh man, Ja Morant talking about he's top 5 point guard. No, you're not. You shouldn't even be saying that. Why not? I don't want anyone on my team, my star player, who doesn't believe they're the best. Ja Morant believes he's a top 5 point guard in this game. What's wrong with that? Why should Ja Morant be like, oh no, I'm not top 5? Why? Because he's young? Because he doesn't have the resume that these other guys have? Bullshit. Ja Morant has the mentality that he's top 5, and if he keeps playing like this, he fuck around might be. 10 years ago, Derrick Rose, going into the season, said, I want to be the MVP of the league. Why can't I be MVP? And a lot of people, including myself, laughed at him and said, bro, you're tripping. What did he do? He went out and won MVP, the youngest MVP of all time. I'm not saying Ja Morant's going to be MVP, but it's that same mentality. And having a mentality like that takes you over the top. And we see it's happening right now with Ja Morant. He's accelerating to superstar status fast if he keeps this up. Like I said, it's a small sample size. It's only a week into the season. It's 82 games. It's an 82-game season. But Ja Morant is looking to rocket right into that stratosphere of superstar. And he might be an all-star this year. It's tough because, the guards in the West is deep. But if he keeps it up and the Grizzlies can win some games and surprise some teams, I see Ja being an all-star. But that's all, man. That was a mouthful. I don't know how long I talked. I'm going to find out when I edit this video. It's going to be a lot of editing. But like I said, leave a like on the video if you messed with it. What was your favorite part of the first week of the NBA season so far? Who were you impressed with? Who are you disappointed by? Who are you excited to watch? Hit hit the subscribe button, ding the notification bell so you know when these NBA videos come out. I'm definitely on the grind this season. I'm trying to get to 1K before 2022, baby, and I need y'all help to do it. But y'all can't help me if I don't put out the content. So like I said, be on the lookout, and I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Peace.